Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL predictions segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 13 of the 2014-15 NFL season. And in the first game, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at home over the Chicago Bears. Right now, the Lions are one of the better teams in total defense. They're number one in scoring defense. They haven't looked really that impressive in recent weeks. However, Chicago, they're feeling kind of mighty. They've won 2 consecutive games, but they did struggle at home against a hapless, I feel in my opinion, Tampa Bay team. I don't really see them or envision them going into Detroit and winning this one. So the defense of Detroit is going to just be too much for Chicago to handle. I'll take the Lions. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. You got 2 very good teams going at it, obviously. Dallas is second in rushing yards right now. Tony Romo has thrown no INTs in the last 2 games. Now, unlike the Philadelphia counterpart with Mark Sanchez, kind of interception machine, he's thrown 4 INTs in the last 2 games. He has that propensity, as a lot of us know, to turn that ball over, and it's a road game, so I'm giving Dallas the edge in this one, and I take the Cowboys at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers over the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco, they don't seem as dominant as they had in the last few seasons. However, Seattle has lost the last 4 or 5 times on the road against San Francisco. Seattle might be formidable at home, but not so much on the road against quality teams. Seattle hasn't defeated a team over 500. That was over 500 going into the game since early last season, and I don't see them doing it this time. Seattle, however, is quietly is the number 1 in total defense in the NFL. The scoring defense not as great, but number 1 in total defense. This game should be competitive. It's adversarial because you have this divisional rivalry, and but I see the 49ers winning in a close one at home, so I'm taking the 49ers. Next game, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts at home over the Washington Redskins. Indianapolis, their offense is just phenomenal. Number 1 in passing yards. In total offense, they've averaged over 30 points per game, and number 1 in time of possession, which really doesn't bode well for the Redskins, who are going through, at least in my opinion, a little dissension and turmoil on that club. Is RG3, is he going to be the guy for them in the future? What's going to happen with this team? Are they even going to play for respectability at this point? I think I do like the Colts to win decisively at home in this game. So next game, I'm going to take the Houston Texans at home over the Tennessee Titans. The Texans have dominated Tennessee in recent time. They've won 4 of the last 5. Now, in those 4 wins, they've outscored them 122-64, nearly doubling Tennessee's total. Tennessee right now is really they're number 32 in rush defense, so saying their rush defense is abhorrent would be an understatement. They've allowed at least 100 yards rushing in the last 5 games, and the last time they played Houston, I believe Houston rushed for over 200 yards against them, so it doesn't bode well for them. I like the Texans at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens, and I know you guys love it when I use this word. They're going to play with a ravenous defense, I believe. 4-1 at home this season. They've given up less than 11 points per game at home, and I see them playing very well in this one. San Diego has to go on the road. San Diego is a good team, but not a great team. They got quarterback Philip Rivers. Do they really have much else really that's going to going for them being on the road against Baltimore? Baltimore is a team right now that they might make a little run and might really surprise some people if they make the postseason. I like Baltimore to win at home. Now the next game, call this the toilet bowl maybe. I'm going to take the New York Giants on the road to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now the Giants are 0-8 this season against teams with a winning record, but in contrast, 3-0 against teams that have a losing record. Well, guess what? Jacksonville has a losing record big time with only one victory. They're number 31 in total offense, number 32 scoring offense. I don't see them putting exactly a plethora of points on against the Giants, even though the Giants have not really been that good this season. However, I'm going to take the Giants to win at on the road in this one. So next game, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win on the road against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cincinnati has won 4 of their last 5 really in like stealth-like fashion. They're just kind of quietly compiling their victories. Other teams are making the noise, and perhaps the Bengals like it like this. Now, Tampa Bay has lost 6 of 7. They're 0-5 at home this season, and I don't really see them putting much together against Cincinnati. The only thing they have going for them in this game is the fact they are at home, but really not much else. I like the Bengals to win this one. Next game, I'm going to take the St. Louis Rams to win at home over the Oakland Raiders. Now, St. Louis has actually been respectable the last 6 games. They're 3-3. They've rotated wins and losses in them. So I guess since they lost last week, they're due to win this week. Oakland has lost 8 consecutive road games and 16 of the last 17. So obviously, saying this is a deplorable road team is an understatement. I like St. Louis Rams to play well and win at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win at home over the New Orleans Saints. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger has surreptitiously been one of the better quarterbacks this season, number 3 in passing yards in the NFL. While the New Orleans Saints can't even win at home, they've lost 3 straight at home. And based on just looking at them in recent weeks, it's hard for me to speculate that they can actually go into Pittsburgh and win on the road. So I like the Steelers to win at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings at home to win over Carolina. Now neither one of these teams are great. However, Minnesota, interesting stat, they're number 3 in kickoff return yards at 838. Or at least, I don't know if it's number 3, but I know they're in that top 5 area, 838 total yards. Now, Arizona, they may be a 9-2 and one of the better teams in the league record-wise, but they've only scored 17 points total in the last 2 games and 3 points in the last 7 quarters. The offense has been anemic lately, and without Carson Palmer, I think this team is starting to falter and plummet. I like Atlanta to win at home. Next game. This game is really, you talk about ambivalent city, this is what they call a true toss-up. Reluctantly, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to get a road win over Green Bay. Now, New England is number 1 in scoring offense in the league, 32.5 points per game. Green Bay is number 2 at 32.2 points per game. In turnover differential, Green Bay has the edge. They're number 1 at 15, at plus 15 in the turnover differential department. New England is plus 11 at number 2. New England has their winning streak going. Green Bay has played well ever since Aaron Rodgers said RELAX. However, I'm going to go with the Patriots to pull this one out. It'll be a very tight game one way or the other. You can make an argument either way. A lot of people are going to go with Green Bay, I realize that, on virtue of them being at home. But New England's just a little bit hotter. They have their winning streak going. They've been relentless. They've been on a rampage. I think they continue the streak in this game and pick up a tough road win at Green Bay. Next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs at home to prevail over the Denver Broncos. Now, Kansas City obviously is going to be seeking retribution after losing earlier this season to the Denver Broncos in a very highly contested battle. Denver has struggled in recent weeks. They're 2-2 in their last 4, and they won. One of those wins was by 3 last week to the Dolphins. Now, The Denver defense is somewhat unheralded. They're second in opposition rushing yards allowed. There should be a good battle between them and the running backs of Kansas City in this game. Kansas City at home, they really are going to play like they have something to prove. They annihilated the Patriots earlier at home. I think they're good enough to beat Denver at home, and I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win at home. So next game. Don't be flabbergasted or in a state of shock, people, but I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to win on the road over the New York Jets. Dolphins have won 4 of 6. The 2 losses in that 6-game stretch were by a combined 7 points. The team is very good in passing defense, number 4 in the league in passing defense. The Jets can't get anything going on offense. The Jets are number 32 as far as passing yards on offense go. I joke about the New York Jets. They're kind of like the Gemini syndrome. They're very versatile. They find manifold ways to lose, and I believe they will lose this week as well. Being at home, divisional game, maybe they'll make it competitive, but I like the Dolphins to win, beat the Jets in this one. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns on the road to defeat the Buffalo Bills. This is another one of those real toss-up games. The Browns have quietly won 4 or 5. The one Achilles heel on them, or at least one of them, is their number 29 in rushing defense. Buffalo is number 1 in sacks. If they can get pressure on the Cleveland quarterback, it could really be a long day for Cleveland. Running back Fred Jackson for Buffalo, his status is probable according to ESPN. Buffalo, I mean, they throttled the Jets this past week. I mean, Buffalo could very well win this game. I see this being very tight. I just think Cleveland is just a little bit better right now, and I see this. Cleveland seems to be very disciplined. They lose a game, and then they bounce right back as if nothing even happened. And I'm going to take Cleveland Browns to win on the road. Well, people, just hold on momentarily. I'm going to do my usual routine. I'm going to go to my computer monitor screen, and I'm going to go over the games, run them down real quick for you, so just hold on momentarily. Okay, going to go with Detroit over Chicago, Dallas over Philadelphia, San Francisco over Seattle, the Colts over the Redskins, Houston over Tennessee, Baltimore over San Diego, Giants over Jacksonville, Cincinnati over Tampa Bay, St. Louis over Oakland, Pittsburgh over New Orleans, Minnesota over Carolina, Falcons over Cardinals, Patriots over Green Bay, Kansas City over Denver, Miami over the Jets, and last but not least Cleveland over Buffalo. Well, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for Week 13 of the 2014-15 NFL season. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my prognostications and analysis for Week 14 of the 2014-15 NFL season. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.